called, right? Justice, that's a cool name. Oh, shoot. Good day, good day, good day. Okay, so the next set of videos I would like to upload for you all, I want to keep these things in chronological order. So the next thing I'm going to go over is hero loadouts. But before we understand exactly how to make the best hero loadout possible, we need to understand the 4 hero classes: the Soldier, the Constructor, the Ninja, and the Outlander. This one's going to be very fast, very simple. I'm going to read to you the class perks and explain them as best as I can. I'll try to make this fast. So, everyone in each class, every soldier has these 2 class perks: Suppressive Fire and Stay Frosty. Everyone in this class has that. Ramirez does, Jonesy does, Headhunter does, Renegade does, the campaign soldiers do, Banshee has it, Hawk has it. Every soldier in the game will have these 2 class perks. To check this out, when you get a hero, let's see, when we get a hero, let's go to the armory and stuff. Is it the armory? No, we go to command. We go to command, go to heroes, upgrade and inspect, then you go to perks. Then you scroll down, it'll show you their commander perk, / support team perk, and then at the bottom, it'll show you their 2 class perks. Reminder, everyone in the class will have the same class perks. So let's go over them. Doesn't matter who I'm looking at here, matters the class perk. So every soldier has these 2. What does Suppressive Fire do? Consecutive shots against the same target deal an additional 30% damage up to 5 stacks. Bonus lost on target switch. So what that tells me, 1 second, had to burp, excuse me. What this tells me is that a soldier is very good for single target damage as it stacks up. Let's see what the other one does. Stay Frosty. After 3 eliminations, increases ranged weapon damage by 10% and weapon stability by 35% for 7 seconds. Additional eliminations refresh duration. So, as you can see, soldiers are very good for suppressing fire on single targets, keeping their aim steady, and stacking on damage. With these 2 perks with these 2 class perks in conjunction, that means without anything, just because you're a soldier, that means you could be dealing up to 25% bonus damage on a single target almost all the time. Very good stuff. This lets you know a basic idea of what you want to go for when you're making a soldier's hero loadout. Very good at suppressing fire, keeping their aim steady, and focusing on single targets. Alright, let's move on to the constructors. Remember, every constructor in the game has these 2 class perks: Kinetic Overload and Base. Let's explain. Let's read. Kinetic Overload. Okay, I got it right. Kinetic Overload. Melee knockbacks and staggers trigger Kinetic Overload, dealing 25 base energy damage to nearby enemies. After melee critical hits, increases melee impact damage by 10% for 5 seconds, up to 5 stacks. Okay, that was a lot of wording. Let's take it one at a time. Melee knockbacks and staggers trigger this, and it deals damage. So, what kind of weapons do we want to use? As you see by the image it shows on the left, constructors are very good with hard-hitting weapons that have a lot of knockback. That'll trigger the staggers and the knockbacks, obviously, such as hammers, crowbars, wrenches. These weapons are listed as clubs and hardware. You can find these in the collection book. Collection book will be its own separate thing. We're going to go over every element of this game. Let's read the second part of it. After melee critical hits, increases the impact damage by 10% for 5 seconds. So basically, you keep up the flow of knocking them back, and every time you get a critical hit, it stacks on more damage. Beautiful stuff. So recap of it, we want to use hard-hitting weapons for knockback. Keeping up the flow of attacks with them stacks on the damage. Let's read up the second one. Base. B-A-S-E. Place base to reinforce attached structures with 60 armor. Extends 4 segments from placement. Placed from the trap wheel. Now, I wish I could show you background gameplay of these things, but unfortunately I cannot. It sucks, that's how it's gonna be. No editing software, it's a knock hard life, man. Life freaking sucks. So, base. Every constructor has this. Basically, it's this stationary turret-looking thing. You put it on a floor tile, and it's gonna reinforce a bunch of structures with up to 60 armor. Mathematically, that equates to about 37% damage reduction. Every constructor has this. Some constructors' commander perks revolve around the base ability perk, such as, let's look at some, Power Base Nox and Base Kyle. Maybe I'll show you how to make a hero loadout with them. Wink wink. Base is extremely helpful. If you are playing as a constructor, do not forget to put base. You just go to your trap wheel, you look at the floor tile, you press X, it's going to be at the very top of the wheel. Cannot miss it. Put it on the floor tile, bask in damage reduction, bask in an impenetrable fort. Those husks won't stand a chance. Okay. Next up, we have the ninjas. I'll say this with every single one. Reminder, every single ninja in the game will have these two class perks. Let's read. First one, Mantis Leap. Jump an additional time while airborne. Ninjas don't take fall damage. This is self-explanatory. You have a double jump, and you don't take fall damage. Nothing else to input. Shadow Stance. After eliminating one enemy with melee weapons, enter Shadow Stance for 4 seconds. Shadow Stance increases armor by 60 and movement speed by 15%. So this is once again just giving you an idea of what you want to look for in a hero loadout. So what this tells me is that ninjas, of course, are melee specialists. Who would have thunk? So after you get a kill with a melee weapon, you have a bunch of armor. Remember how base gave you 37% damage reduction on your walls? It gives you the same armor Shadow Stance. So you're taking about, if you round it, you're taking about 40% less damage because you're killing things with melee, and you're moving a little bit faster. Isn't that nice? Once again, this is just to give you an idea of how to make a proper hero loadout, because that's going to be when I start uploading next. Alrighty. Nice and simple, right? Remember, you just gotta look for these things and read. Admittedly, though, the game could, do a bit more stuff for you, but we can't exactly hold everyone's hand. Alright, final one. The last class, the Outlander. That's right, you know what I'm gonna say. Reminder, every Outlander in the game has these 3 class perks. Yes, the Outlander has 3 class perks. A lot of reading, I know, look at all that text. Let's go over it. First things first. 1 second. First things first. The Anti-Material Charge. Cost 45 energy. Punch forward, destroying structures and harvesting their materials. Deals a lot of damage to enemies. Activate heavy attack with your pickaxe equipped. So, what the Anti-Material Charge is the Outlander's Fist. You see that robotic hydraulic looking thing on their right hand? That's the Anti-Material Charge. When you have your pickaxe out and you press left trigger, using up about half your energy, 45 out of your 100, you punch forward about a tile, and you one-shot any structures, harvesting it as well, and you deal a lot of damage to enemies. It is not supposed to be for killing enemies. Reminder, it is not meant for killing enemies. It's because the Outlander is sort of the utility class. It's the farming class, bouncing around the map gathering resources. The Anti-Material Charge is there for you to harvest things faster. Instead of having to punch a car or pickaxe a car a bunch to get the metal and the nuts and bolts and stuff, just punch right through it and get all of it in one shot for a lot of energy. Second one, In the Zone. After 5 consecutive hits with a pickaxe, increases the pickaxe damage by 25% and your movement speed by 7.5%. During In the Zone, nearby containers glow. Switching weapons ends the buff. By weapons, it means going back to your weapons, because this can only activate with your pickaxe. So, this is very simple, believe it or not. I know it's a lot of reading, stick with me. So, when you have your pickaxe out, after you get 5 hits, your pickaxe does more damage, so it's easier for you to harvest stuff, and you move a bit faster. And then, things that you can search, like ammo containers, chests, they start glowing from a distance, so you can find them easier. Kinda lets you know what kind of class this is. As I just mentioned, the utility class. You're going to be bouncing around the place, harvesting stuff, stocking up. This is the farming class, essentially. Finally, but they are also good in combat. Don't just think they're only... No one in this game... Disclaimer. No one class in this game has a single purpose. Really, it's up to you. It's the beauty of this game. You find what works. You find what sticks. Requires a lot of brain power, but not really. Really, all you have to do is just read and understand very simple systems. Finally, we have the Loot Llama. Purple charge fragments create a Loot Llama for you and your teammates to wail on with your pickaxe. The Loot Llama contains materials and crafting ingredients. So essentially, while you're around the map, I'm sure you've noticed there's these, like, orbs these metal orbs on the ground, and it tells you that only an Outlander can activate them. There's 2 of them. The blue one is just a normal charge fragment, which boosts 2 abilities of the Outlander. The Teddy, you know, the I am a bear, that thing, and the Shock Tower. All it does is cost 0 energy for both of them and reduce the cooldown of them a little bit. Not bad. Now the purple one spawns that llama that y'all like to beat up on to get the wood, brick, metal, and whatever else. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it. That's the purple charge fragment. Pick it up, that llama spawns, you get some mats from it. There's a bit of an etiquette on this game. If you see an Outlander beating up a llama, please don't just run on and steal the stuff from them. You know, it's kind of theirs. They wanted to get the loot from it. It's not a lot. It's only like 100 of each mat. Wait to see if there's something they don't want, then go and pick it up. Like, common courtesy stuff. Okay. That's straight up gonna be it for this episode. Like I said, short and sweet. Quick explanation of all the class perks in this game to give you an idea of how to make a proper hero loadout, which is going to hero loadout. I skipped half that word, which will be the focus of the next episode. You know the motto. Less trading in this game, less begging in this game. More playing of the game, more learning of the game, more observing the game, more watching the game. And I think I said more learning already. You know the motto. Bounce out with that fofo, cut this nonsense off, get me